the giant squid. We're gonna send cameras down there, where few humans have ever been.
Watch everybody!
Got my first Humboldt squid underwater! He's gonna know where it is behind that smoke screen. Look at it now, covering the camera.
Got it. Got my first Humboldt squid underwater. He's going to know where it is behind that smoke screen. Look at it now, covering the camera.
And I was really fascinated. It said there were these ice formations that grew down from the ice, from the surface ice.
What if the ocean floor is hiding more than just shipwrecks? Beneath the waves lie strange and shocking discoveries, from ancient ruins to bizarre machines.
Remarkably quickly, but no one had really seen the growth of them.
Some finds are hard to explain. Divers and scientists have uncovered things that left even experts speechless. You can see just how much material is
nature's own slow-motion death trap, rare but mesmerizing.
Coming out every moment from looking at the smoke. Each object tells a story, and some of those stories are truly unbelievable. The ocean is deep, dark, and full of surprises waiting to be found. Stay with us as we explore the
Mr. Aratake, and he is the man who first laid eyes on this structure, and indeed in his own right is something of a local diving legend.
The strangest and most unexpected things ever discovered on the bottom of the ocean. The colossal squid, release the beast. Meet the real-life kraken. Some creatures from legends like
thousands of miles from here off the coast of Japan, some believe they have found evidence of another lost kingdom.
To stay in stories, but others, they pop right out of the pages and into our world, like the colossal squid. This thing isn't your average calamari. It's a massive, slippery, deep-sea monster that's been lurking in the darkest corners of space.
There's something strange in the water in the Antarctic Ocean.
And researchers are calling it a headless
of the ocean. Think giant squid meets alien horror movie, but it's real. The first one was discovered way back in 1925, and
they're the secrets of ancient Egypt, which for thousands of years lay submerged.
It immediately gave sea monster myths a serious credibility boost. Since then, they've stayed pretty elusive, like the introverts of the sea. Scientists haven't seen too many of them, mostly because they live in the chilly,
beneath the Mediterranean. The treasures belong to two sunken cities which were thought to be the
hard-to-reach waters of the Antarctic Ocean, about 7,200 foot down. That's almost a mile and a half below the surface. Definitely not a place you'd go snorkeling. Now here's the wild part. Based on the beaks we've recovered, yes,
the Monterey Bay Aquarium and Dive Team experienced a rare sighting of a unique fish with a see-through head. It's known as a barrel-eye
beaks, like some kind of underwater bird nightmare. Researchers believe a fully grown colossal squid could weigh up to 1,500 pounds and stretch out around 30 to 33 feet long. That's longer than a school bus and heavier than a grand piano. One guy named Steve.
I was like, no way are we seeing this? There's nothing out there that looks like this animal.
Thought he saw a 30-footer. He was bracing for a sea monster showdown. Turns out the squid was only half that size, only. But was swiveling, 3 pointed hooks on its tentacles. Even a small one could definitely.
Oh, whoa, yeah, that's different. That's not what I thought you were talking about.
Length of the
ruin your day. These rare giants are like the final boss of the ocean, huge, scary, and almost mythical. The more we learn about them, the more it feels like the ocean is keeping secrets, big ones.
What are those things that dangle from it? What'd you call those things?
Tentacles, legs.
Tentacles, legs.
And if this is what we've already found, just wait till we see what else is swimming out there. Now here's something that gave even a trained diver a moment of fear. In 2019, a cargo
scam is like a missing link in terms of showing us how some
ship needed emergency repairs in the middle of the Pacific Ocean. A diver went down to fix it. Deep underwater, he saw a giant shape moving. At first he was scared, but soon he saw it was
would have made this transition from strictly hunting-gathering to sedentary agriculture.
Just a huge swarm of krill. Would you stay calm if you saw something like that? Let us know in the comments below. Shark versus shark. when Jaws becomes lunch. You'd think being a 9-foot great...
Death of a 17-year-old boy from a box jellyfish sting near Bamaga on Cape York has left a community in mourning and raised questions over whether more can be done.
Great white shark would make you king of the ocean, top of the food chain, right? Well, not if there's a bigger, hungrier shark cruising around with an appetite for its own kind. Australian scientists...
Finally tonight, some marine researchers were out looking for sharks the other day off the Canary Islands, where they found something quite unexpected.
Scientists got a serious surprise when they tagged a great white for a research project. Everything was going fine, until the shark pulled a vanishing act. Gone. No fin. Just the tracking device, which casually washed up on shore days later like. Don't ask. But here's where things get wild. The tracker showed a sudden spike in temperature, way too warm for ocean water, and then a plunge nearly 2,000 feet deep. That temperature pattern? It matches what you'd expect if the device had been swallowed by another shark, a much bigger one. After a lot of head-scratching and scientific detective work, researchers reached a jaw-dropping conclusion. Their 9-foot shark had been eaten by another great white, one that was roughly 16 feet long and weighed about 2 tons. That's like a school bus with teeth. Now, great whites are known to keep their distance from one another. They're not big on social gatherings unless it's dinner. And apparently sometimes that dinner is each other. While cannibalism among sharks isn't completely unheard of, this was one of the clearest, most chilling pieces of evidence ever recorded. It's a reminder that even apex predators can end up as prey in the deep blue. It's not just eat or be eaten, it's eat or get eaten by your big cousin. Japan's hidden Atlantis. The mystery of Japan's hidden Atlantis. Deep beneath the waves of Japan lies a structure so mysterious, it has sparked rumors that it could be the lost city of Atlantis. Meet the Yonaguni Monument, an underwater site that's been stirring up quite the debate among archaeologists. Some call it one of the most important finds in underwater archaeology. And who wouldn't be curious? It's like finding a hidden treasure chest, but instead of gold, you get questions. Now here's the twist. Some believe the Yonaguni Monument is just a freak of nature, maybe an oddly shaped rock formation. But others? They're convinced it's the remains of an ancient civilization. It's got sharp angles, flat surfaces, and even some features that kind of look like animal carvings, or what could be the leftover bits of columns. It's like someone took a giant Lego set underwater and got a little too creative. Professor Masaki Kimura, a big name in the world of underwater archaeology, argues that this site could be the remains of a lost civilization. Some even think it's linked to the mysterious continent of Mu, another lost land that has been tossed around with Atlantis theories. If true, this would mean the civilization existed around 10,000 years ago. That's older than your grandma's favorite cookbook. Of course, we're still in the maybe phase. More research and evidence are needed before we can say for sure what this monument is all about. But until then, the Yonaguni Monument continues to captivate our imaginations, pulling in curious explorers and eager researchers who are determined to get to the bottom of this oceanic enigma. Who knows? Maybe we'll find the answers. Or maybe just more questions. Either way, it's a real-life mystery hiding in the depths. The bloop, the ocean's greatest sound mystery. In 1937, something strange happened deep in the ocean, a sound so mysterious it sent waves through the scientific world. Researchers were baffled, conspiracy theorists were thrilled, and no one could agree on where it came from. The infamous bloop was born, and it quickly became one of the ocean's most talked about mysteries. At first, experts thought it could be icebergs scraping the ocean floor, creating this super low frequency, high amplitude noise. It made sense, right? But in 2022, Christopher Fox from the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration, NOAA, came in with a curveball theory. What if the bloop was made by some giant undiscovered creature lurking in the deep, just waiting for its moment to freak us out? As time ticked on, the mystery didn't die down, it only grew more intriguing. By the next decade, NOAA switched gears again, suggesting that the bloop could actually be caused by ice quakes, where huge chunks of ice break off and make some seriously weird noises. But here's the kicker, no one knows for sure. Is it a massive iceberg? An undiscovered sea monster? An underwater earthquake of sorts? The answers are still as elusive as the creature that might have made it. Whatever it is, the bloop continues to captivate scientists, conspiracy lovers, and anyone with a curious mind. It's one of those great ocean mysteries that keeps everyone guessing and proves once again how much we still have left to uncover about the vast, creepy, and totally awesome depths of the sea. The black smokers, underwater chimneys of mystery. Ready to dive deep into the ocean's creepiest corner? Welcome to the world of black smokers, giant hydrothermal vents lurking beneath the waters off the coast of the Galapagos Islands. First discovered in 1976, these strange formations are like nature's very own spooky underwater chimneys, spewing out clouds of black smoke and creating a landscape straight out of a sci-fi movie. Wow! How long have we known about? When was the first vent? Now, these vents are no small potatoes. Some of them stretch to almost 200 feet tall, taller than a football field is long, and they're found chilling around 8,200 to 9,800 feet below the surface. That's like diving down to the bottom of a skyscraper underwater. When the superheated water from the Earth's crust meets the freezing cold ocean water, you get this eerie black smoke billowing out, making the sea look like a spooky, fog-filled mystery. And the temperature? Oh, just a casual 752 degrees Fahrenheit. That's hot enough to cook a steak in no time. But while humans might fry in those extreme conditions, the creatures around these vents are doing just fine. In fact, they're thriving. You'll find sea snails, shrimp, and even giant tube worms hanging out near these smokers, living off bacteria that munch on the minerals spewing out of the smoke. What's even cooler is that these vents aren't just oddities. They're crucial to the deep sea ecosystem. They bring up materials from deep inside the Earth, creating a unique habitat for life to exist despite the hostile environment. It's like a hidden world full of life, heat, and mystery tucked away beneath the ocean's surface. The deeper you go, the stranger it gets. The lost city of Kalata Bay, a hidden treasure beneath the waves. In 2015, researchers made a jaw-dropping discovery just south of Athens in an area packed with ancient sites. What started as a casual pottery hunt quickly turned into one of the most mind-blowing archaeological finds in recent history. A few small pottery fragments led the team to something much bigger, the ruins of an entire lost city. Talk about finding treasure. This wasn't just any city. The ruins sprawled across about 12 acres of land, bigger than many modern neighborhoods, and it dates all the way back to the Bronze Age. But here's where it gets really interesting. This ancient city had one of the most impressive defense systems ever found in ancient Greece. Forget about simple stone walls. This place had a full-on protective wall, complete with defensive towers. Imagine that, a city with its own version of a medieval fortress in the Bronze Age. What does this tell us? Well, it means this was no sleepy, laid-back settlement. This city was clearly a big deal, vibrant, bustling, and well-defended. But here's the kicker, no one knows what happened to it. The city's sudden disappearance remains a mystery, and researchers have yet to figure out why it was abandoned. Was it attacked? Did it fall into disrepair? Or maybe nature just took its toll? There are plenty of theories, but no one's cracked the code yet. So this lost city remains one of the great unsolved puzzles of the ancient world. But one thing's for sure, it's a game-changer for archaeology, showing just how much we still have to uncover about the ancient civilizations that shaped our history. The Milky Seas, the ocean's glowing secret. Sailors have always had their fair share of tall tales, from sirens singing in the distance to ominous signs in the water. But one eerie story is more than just superstition. It's real. We're talking about the Milky Seas effect, an ocean mystery that's been confirmed, though it still has scientists scratching their heads. Here's the deal. Imagine sailing through the ocean at night, when suddenly large stretches of water turn a pale, milky white or blue, and not just any glow, but a soft, eerie light that seems to come from the water itself. Sounds like something straight out of a ghost story, right? But it's real. And it turns out the glow comes from bioluminescent bacteria in the water. These tiny organisms light up like a disco party in the sea. Now, thanks to modern tech, We know the Milky Sea's effect isn't just a sailor's wild imagination, it happens because of these glowing bacteria. But the mystery doesn't end there. We still don't know exactly what causes these bacteria to suddenly go full-on rave mode. What triggers them? Is it something in the water? A change in the environment? No one really knows. It's like the bacteria are having their own little secret light show, and we're just trying to catch a glimpse. The Milky Sea's effect continues to captivate scientists, proving there are still plenty of hidden wonders in the ocean. While we might not have all the answers, one thing's for sure, the deep sea is full of surprises, and we're just scratching the surface. The Baltic Sea UFO, alien or ocean oddity. In 2011, something strange was discovered in the Baltic Sea during a treasure hunt. Divers found an anomaly that looked like it came straight out of Star Wars. It was round, flat, and had a suspiciously Millennium Falcon-like shape. Naturally, the UFO theories exploded, with people wondering if aliens had crash-landed in the middle of the sea. But hold on, geologists weren't quite as convinced. They pointed out that nature is pretty good at making weird shapes. Just look at some of the rock formations around the world. Plus, the sonar images were super grainy, so figuring out exactly what the object was from those blurry pics was like trying to make out a face on a foggy window. While the idea of a UFO hidden in the Baltic Sea does sound like the plot of a great sci-fi thriller, it also brings to light a bigger mystery. Our oceans are still largely unexplored. We know more about the surface of the moon than we do about the deep sea. And if this oddball formation is anything to go by, who knows what other mind-blowing creatures, formations, or even lost cities are waiting to be found under the waves. The ocean's depths are a vast, uncharted frontier, one that continues to baffle scientists and thrill adventurers. So whether it's a spaceship or just a natural formation, the Baltic Sea anomaly serves as a reminder that the mysteries of the deep are far from over. The ocean's deadly hot tub, about 3,300 feet below the surface of the Gulf of Mexico, lies a chilling secret, the Jacuzzi of Despair. It's not the kind of hot tub you'd want to relax in. In fact, it's more like nature's version of a cautionary tale. This deadly underwater lake flips the script on everything we think we know about water. Here's the deal. While most of the ocean sits at a chilly 4 degrees Celsius, this undersea lake is surprisingly warm, with temperatures ranging from 7.8 to a toasty 19 degrees Celsius. That's a pretty big difference, right? It's like stumbling upon a secret hot spring, but instead of a nice soak, you're about to meet your doom. The Jacuzzi of Despair is only about 12 feet deep and 32 feet across, so it's not huge, but don't let its size fool you. The water in this lake is anything but friendly. It's packed with high levels of salinity, methane, and hydrogen sulfide, which makes it a toxic nightmare. Any unsuspecting fish or sea creature that wanders in doesn't stand a chance. The deadly cocktail of chemicals can shock the life right out of even the toughest marine critters. Even though the Jacuzzi of Despair is as creepy as it sounds, researchers are still trying to crack the mystery of how this toxic lake came to be. But here's the kicker, it's not just an ocean oddity. Studying this extreme environment could actually teach us a thing or two about life on other planets. Could creatures survive in similarly harsh conditions on distant worlds? This bizarre undersea lake might just hold the key to answering that question. So while it's deadly for sea life, it's a gold mine for scientists hoping to unlock the mysteries of life beyond Earth. The Gulf of Cambay, the debate over ancient ruins. In the early 2000s, some truly mind-boggling discoveries were made off the coast of Gujarat in the Gulf of Cambay. Ruins thought to be part of an ancient city popped up beneath the waves, sparking a heated debate that's still going on today. These structures, along with various artifacts, have made scientists sit up and take notice. But as with most things that seem too good to be true, there's a catch. One of the biggest points of contention is how the site was explored. Instead of the careful excavation you'd expect at an ancient archaeological site, the area was dredged. That's right, dredging, like when you scoop up mud and dirt from the bottom of a river or ocean. That raises some serious concerns about how much of the context was lost, making it tricky to know just how valuable these findings really are. Could it be that key pieces of the puzzle were accidentally destroyed in the process? That's what some researchers worry about. Then there's the carbon dating. If the results are to be believed, the materials at this site could be a whopping 9,500 years old. That would make these ruins the oldest known civilization on Earth, an absolutely game-changing discovery. But as you can guess, not everyone agrees on the accuracy of the carbon dating. The controversy keeps brewing as experts argue over what it all means. At the end of the day, the Gulf of Cambay remains an archaeological mystery. The ruins are undeniably intriguing, but until we can dig in a more controlled way, their true age and significance are still up for debate. So stay tuned, this ancient puzzle isn't solved yet. The mysterious sound of Julia, an iceberg or a sea monster? In 1999, something strange happened in the deep blue. An eerie sound, later dubbed Julia, was recorded by the U.S. National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration. The sound lasted for about 15 seconds, but in those brief moments, it captured the attention of everyone from hardcore scientists to wild conspiracy theorists. What was it, and where did it come from? The answer remains one big mystery. One theory is that the sound could have been caused by an iceberg crashing into the land mass of Antarctica. Sounds reasonable, right? But here's the catch: no one can confirm it. The idea was proposed by a NOAA researcher, but without definitive proof, it's still just one of many possibilities. What really sets Julia apart from other sounds is just how loud it was. This wasn't a faint blip. It was a sound that carried across a huge portion of the ocean. Naturally, some people let their imaginations run wild, wondering if this noise could have been made by something much more exciting, like a giant unknown sea creature lurking in the deep. While that's a fun thought, there's zero evidence to back it up, so it's just one of those what-if theories. To add fuel to the fire, there were rumors about NASA photos showing a huge shadow moving in the waters off Antarctica around the same time. Sounds like something straight out of a sci-fi movie, right? Unfortunately, no solid images have ever been produced to confirm those claims, leaving us with nothing but speculation. So until we figure out what caused Julia, it's just another one of the ocean's many puzzling secrets. Maybe one day the truth will surface, or maybe it's a mystery we'll never solve. Either way, it's a cool story. Rhino calls, the frozen fingers of death. In the frozen corners of the world, some natural events unfold so slowly and in such remote locations that only the brave or the curious get to witness them. One of these chilling phenomena is known as rhino calls, and trust me, it's not as cute as it sounds. So what's the deal with this icy spectacle? It all starts when brine, salt water, escapes from sea ice and plunges into the ocean below. As it moves downward, it creates an eerie, almost otherworldly frozen path dubbed the Frozen Fingers of Death. The nickname comes from the unfortunate sea creatures that find themselves in the path of this freezing brine and don't react fast enough to escape its icy grip. This whole process is like an icy waltz between the sea ice and the deep ocean waters. As the brine falls, it mixes with the surrounding seawater, causing it to freeze quickly. The result is a stunning yet deadly ice formation that stretches toward the ocean floor, where all sorts of marine life is just going about its day. For some of these unsuspecting critters, that frozen finger isn't just a beautiful sight but a death trap. If they're not quick enough to avoid it, they're stuck, and their fate is sealed by the creeping ice. While this process is mesmerizing to look at, it also reminds us of the fragile balance of life beneath the icy waters. Because this phenomenon happens in such hard-to-reach places, it's not easy to witness. But thanks to modern science and technology, we're able to get a peek at this hauntingly beautiful process, learning more about how these frozen realms work and how delicate the ecosystems really are. Megalodon, the ocean's original monster. The ocean has always been a hotbed for sea monsters, from the mythical kraken to the terrifying leviathan. But while those creatures might belong to the world of legends, there's one real-life sea monster that once ruled the oceans, the megalodon. You've probably heard of it. This prehistoric shark was basically the king of the seas. Megalodons were gigantic, reaching lengths of up to 59 feet and weighing as much as 59 metric tons. Talk about a heavy hitter. Its teeth, some of which could grow up to 7 inches long, are about the only physical evidence we have of these oceanic giants, since no complete skeletons have ever been found. It's like the Megalodon was the ocean's ultimate ninja, just lurking in the depths, leaving behind only a few clues. Most scientists agree that the Megalodon went extinct millions of years ago, but there are a few adventurous souls who like to stir the pot with the idea that these massive predators could still be out there somewhere, lurking in the deep dark waters. While shows like Shark Week might fuel the fire of these wild theories, the hard facts lean toward the Megalodon having gone the way of the dinosaurs. Still, let's not forget that the ocean is full of surprises. After all, we didn't know about the coelacanth or the megamouth shark until pretty recently, and both were thought to be long extinct. The deep ocean remains one of the most mysterious places on Earth. And who knows, maybe one day we'll discover more prehistoric giants hanging out in the deep. Until then, we'll just have to make do with the Megalodon's terrifying reputation. The Lost Submarines of 1968, a tragic year under the waves. Submarine life is definitely not for the faint of heart. Imagine being cooped up in a metal tube hundreds of feet under the ocean, where even the smallest issue could turn into a huge disaster. Well, in 1968, things took a tragic turn when 4 submarines went missing in quick succession, claiming the lives of 318 people. That made it the deadliest year for submarines since World War II. The submarines involved were from 4 different countries: the USS Scorpion from the United States, the INS Dakar from Israel, the Minerve from France, and the K-129 from the Soviet Union. Each one mysteriously vanished, leaving behind a trail of questions and speculation that still haunts historians and researchers today. These disappearances didn't just happen in one part of the world. The submarines were scattered across different oceans, adding to the mystery. Despite extensive search and recovery missions, none of these submarines have been fully explained. There were all kinds of theories about what happened: mechanical failures, accidents, even the possibility of foul play from other nations. But since submarines operate in secret and many details are classified, getting the truth has proven to be like solving a deep-sea riddle. The fate of these submarines and their courageous crews remains one of the ocean's unsolved mysteries. Every year, researchers dive into these dark waters hoping for new clues that might finally shed light on what really happened back in 1968. Until then, the lost submarines are a somber reminder of the dangers beneath the waves. The Gulf of Mexico's mysterious shipwreck. In May of 2019, a group of researchers from the NOAA were doing some underwater drone tests in the Gulf of Mexico when something strange popped up on their sonar. They didn't find fish or coral reefs. Nope, they discovered a mysterious shipwreck. Talk about an exciting day at the office. The researchers, thrilled by the find, were quick to invite archaeologists from all over the world to join in on the investigation. With drones capturing every moment, they even live-streamed the exploration so everyone could tune in. Despite the buzz, they didn't know much about the ship's origins. All they had to go on was a number, 21,109, and a whole lot of questions. From what they could tell, this ship was old, really old. It was estimated to have been built around 200 years ago, and with some charred timber on board, it's likely that this vessel was on fire when it sank. Experts speculate that it might be from the late 19th century, possibly around 1850. But no one knows for sure. The mystery behind its sinking still looms large. What happened to it? Why did it go down? Those are questions that are still waiting to be answered. But here's the twist: this shipwreck isn't the only one in the Gulf. It turns out the Gulf of Mexico is home to a whole fleet of mysterious long-lost vessels just waiting to be discovered. The research team, along with the underwater drones, captured valuable footage of the wreck from the seafloor, adding pieces to the puzzle of this eerie maritime mystery. And who knows? This could just be the beginning of unraveling more secrets from the deep. The Ghost Village Beneath the Sea. Ghost Village Beneath the Sea. Let's crank up the mystery meter because this next underwater stop is straight out of an ancient thriller. Just off the coast of Atlit, Israel lies Atlit Yam, a Stone Age village that's been sleeping beneath the Mediterranean Sea for thousands of years. And we mean between 8,900 and 8,300 years old. Back in its prime, Atlit Yam was a busy little hub of prehistoric life. People lived, fished, and probably argued over whose turn it was to catch dinner. Then something massive happened. Researchers think a volcanic eruption may have triggered a tsunami that slammed nearby cities, and a lit yam was swallowed whole. Just like that, life stopped. Today, what's left is chilling, literally and figuratively. Skeletons rest where people once walked, burial sites tell stories with no words. Archaeologists have spent over 25 years uncovering this underwater ghost town, and they found everything from human remains to entire piles of fish still waiting to be traded. That's right, neatly stacked fish, as if the villagers dropped everything and bolted. Talk about a quick exit. What makes a lit yam so haunting isn't just the suddenness of its end, it's how well it's preserved. You feel like you're looking into a snapshot of another world frozen in time. The structures, tools, and even the food hint at lives that were vibrant until nature decided otherwise. Thanks to tireless scientists and underwater explorers, this submerged world is slowly revealing its secrets. And with each discovery, we're reminded how unpredictable nature can be and how resilient the human story really is, even when it's buried under the waves. The fish with the see-through skull, just when you thought deep-sea creatures couldn't get weirder, the ocean said. Hold my seaweed. Let's talk about Macropina microstoma, also known as the barrel eye fish. This little oddball was discovered way back in 1939, but it played hide-and-seek with researchers for decades. It wasn't until 2004 that we got our first real photo of this underwater oddity, thanks to the folks at the Monterey Bay Aquarium Research Institute. Now, what makes this fish so unforgettable? For starters, it has a transparent dome-shaped head, yes, a see-through noggin. You can literally see its eyeballs, bright green and tubular, moving around inside its skull like something out of a sci-fi cartoon. It's both creepy and cool. Those tubular eyes are specially designed to gather every drop of light in the dark ocean depths, which comes in handy when you're swimming around 2,000 to almost 3,000 feet down, where it's darker than a blackout during a power outage. And here's the wildest part, those eyes can rotate. They usually point straight up through the dome to spot prey above, but when it's time to eat, they roll forward like tiny periscopes, helping it track down dinner with precision. The barrelfish may look like it belongs in an alien movie, but it's a perfect example of evolution doing its thing in the weirdest way possible. Despite its spooky appearance, this fish is a fascinating reminder of how strange and smart nature can be. With a glow-up like that, who needs eyelids? The Bermuda Triangle mystery, or myth? Ah, the Bermuda Triangle, that famous patch of ocean between Puerto Rico, Miami, and Bermuda that's given us countless stories of ghost ships, lost planes, and unexplainable disappearances. Over the years, it's been the go-to place for wild theories and superstitions. Some even think it's the oldest fake news story in the world. But here's the twist. This area is one of the busiest ocean routes, and for the most part, ships and planes cruise through with zero drama. Still, every now and then something strange happens. Take the infamous tale of the Ellen Austin. This ship supposedly saw not one but two whole crews vanish from a derelict ship floating around the triangle. And who could forget the USS Cyclops? This Navy vessel disappeared with 309 sailors on board, never to be heard from again. And the oddities don't stop there. There are reports of ships that turn up completely empty, like they've been abandoned mid-voyage. No signs of struggle, no clues, just gone. Naturally, these eerie events have kept the Bermuda Triangle shrouded in mystery, leaving everyone to scratch their heads. But before you start packing for a mystery tour, here's the reality check. Most trips through this area end without any issue. While the odd disappearance might keep us intrigued, we should remember that the vast majority of voyages are completed safely. So while it's fun to speculate, let's not forget, sometimes the Bermuda Triangle is just another part of the ocean. The eel that might be a sea monster. Let's dive into the deep end where things get weird, long, and possibly legendary. Meet Leptocephalus giganteus. Sounds like a spell from a wizarding book, right? But it's actually the name of one of the rarest and most mysterious eels ever recorded. First described by Anton Brunn in 1930 and later by Peter Henry John Castle in 1959, this elusive creature has only been seen twice, and both times, it was still a baby. Now here's where it gets wild. One of these larvae was already about 6 feet long. That's just the baby version. Typically, eel larvae are only about 1/32 the length of the adult. So if this little guy followed the same math, we'd be talking about a full-grown eel the size of a train car, or maybe a sea serpent that just missed its big Hollywood break. Some scientists, however, are pumping the brakes on the monster eel hype. They think it may have been misidentified, and that this creature doesn't grow much larger than what's already been found. Buzzkill, right? But the deep sea is full of surprises. The fact that we've only seen 2 of these slippery shadows, and know so little about them, has kept the mystery alive. Could it be a gentle giant hiding in the ocean's basement, or just another awkward-looking fish that got a bad rep? Until someone catches one of these grown-ups or gets photobombed by one during a dive, Leptocephalus giganteus remains an underwater enigma. Proof that the ocean still keeps its best secrets well hidden, probably behind a very long eel. The ocean's hiding some wild stuff, and we've only just started to explore its greatest mysteries. From ancient ruins to creepy creatures with glow-in-the-dark heads, there's always something strange waiting below. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the unknown, don't swim away just yet. Like, share, and hit that subscribe button to join us on more mind-blowing ocean adventures. There's a lot more coming, and trust us, you won't want to miss what's lurking beneath the waves next.